Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So welcome dear devotees. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2, chapter number 1, the first step in God realization. And today's discussion we have to start from text number 4. Before we begin, let's hear a quick recap from Krishna Prabhu from up to text number 3.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So, at the end of Canto 1, Canto 1 concludes by Parikshit Maharaj welcoming Sukdev Goswami and then begging him to show him the path to perfection in life. He asks him questions about what should a person hear, chant, worship, and what should he do before he leaves this body. And that's when Canto 2 starts with Sukdev Goswami first invoking Krishna through the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya before he reveals to him the answers to his questions. And then he starts off by talking about first about materialistic people who are always engrossed in material activities. He classifies them into two, Grihastha, and so Prabhupada has classified them into two, Grihastha and Grahamedi in his purport. So Grihasthas are the householders who, along with their family, are seeking spiritual advancement. They want to get closer to Krishna, and they're also thinking about bringing everybody along this journey and establishing their lost connection with Krishna. But on the other hand, Grahamedis are always engrossed in only looking after their own family, and they do not really care about others around them. They are very miserly. But even before that, sorry, Prabhu, Shukdev Goswami appreciates the question that has been asked. Varya Neshate Prashna. So he glorifies the question because it is beneficial to all the people, the entire human race. And hearing about the Lord, inquiring about the Lord, chanting about the Lord has been compared to bathing in the Ganges River. It purifies the speaker, the hearer, and the inquirer also. So anything that is hearing or chanting or worshipping anything of the Lord, that is always connected directly to the Lord, and it is considered to be supreme, the most supreme activity. It is above all the mundane activities that we do. Just like the sloka in the Bhagavad Gita that says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yovedi tattvataha. So anything, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's names, Krishna's qualities, everything is transcendental. So hearing about them also makes us transcendental during that time. And then obviously when we come back to the material world, we need to perform our material activities also. So he first glorifies the question, then talks about what materialistic people usually do. They don't really have time for any of these activities that I spoke about because they are very, very busy in only listening to mundane activities, mundane news, mundane literature, sports, politics, all of that. But those who are grihasthas, true grihasthas, they care about actually getting spiritual knowledge and taking the journey on the path to perfection. So that's where it ended yesterday. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Krishna Prabhu. Nice summary. So let's see what happens from text number. Let's do a little bit of Pankaj Prabhu. If you can do the Sanskrit and you can choose someone to do translation. Text 5, Puja Vithlani Mataji, and 6, Anirvin Prabhu 2.6. I think we'll do 6 or 7. Let's see. We'll try to give other people opportunity. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna everyone, Dandavad Pranam. Text number 4. Dehapatyak kalatradishu atmasanyesu asatsvapi tesham pramato nidinam Pashyan api na pashyati. May I ask Satish Prabhu to do the translation, please?
Sure. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Translation by Prabhupada Ki Jai. Persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body, children, and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Pankaj Prabhu. Thank you, Satish Prabhu. Oh, we had the question by Vibhuti Mataji yesterday. I forgot about that, sorry. So Vibhuti Mataji, yesterday, just before we were about to end the session, she asked, Mataji is here? Hare Krishna Mataji? Okay. Mataji asked the question about why we also looking after the family, economical balancing situations, maintaining family members, doing our daily routine activities. But when time comes for festivals or temple services, we are not able to prioritize. हम उनको priority नहीं दे सकते, and we are giving priorities to other things. For example, going to work on a Ram Navami day which is coming. For example, kids tuition classes when evening Gaur Purnima celebration is happening, things like that. So Mataji was asking that why are we not able to prioritize? In Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatana Gosvami, very beautiful explanation is given, which I was mentioning yesterday. There are Vaishnavas and Vaishanava Praya. There are devotees and there are people who seem to be devotees. We think in our life that we having kanthimala, tilak, wearing dhoti kurta or sari and going to temple, devotional services, thoda bahut kar liya, Bhagavad Gita pad liya, whenever half an hour in the morning we read Bhagavatam, and we think somewhere in our heart that we are devotees of Lord Sri Krishna. But the reality by Sanatana Goswami is mentioned is we are Vaishnava Praya, that we are ऐसा लगता है कि हम भक्त है, लेकिन हम भक्त बनने के पाथ पे है, जर्नी पे है, अभी हम भक्त बने नहीं है. वी आर नॉट डिवोटी येट, वी आर ट्राइंग टू बी डिवोटी. And that is the difference. The devotee is the one who gives full priority to Krishna, who has full surrender to the holy name of Krishna, who has been taken initiation from the spiritual master, and who is serving by the guidance of the spiritual master in the service of Lord Sri Krishna. So that person is called Vaishnava. That person is called a devotee who has full faith, full surrender, initiation, and he has taken the shelter of the holy name and he is serving. What about us? हम वैष्णव प्राय मीन्स हम प्रयत्न कर रहे हैं, हम वहां पे जाने का प्रयत्न कर रहे हैं. वी आर नौसिखिया जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं. वी आर ट्राइंग नियोफाइट स्टेज. वी आर जस्ट ट्राइंग टू बी devotee. So what do? We go to the temple sometimes, we go to the festival sometimes, and we also have our other priorities as well, like going to work, maintaining family members and other things as well. But it is said in that Vaishnava Praya becomes Vaishnava. The person who is like an abhasa, or the person who is trying to be devotee, can become a devotee by taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. If a person is having association of devotees and reading Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, with that a person Vaishnava Praya will become Vaishnava. The person who is trying to become a devotee will become a devotee. And that's why what we are doing exactly is we meet every week, we have the association of devotees, we read Bhagavad Gita, do our service, read Srimad Bhagavatam, and then our priorities will change. Abhi, some other priorities are there, some other commitments are there, but slowly we keep on doing. Chanting करते रहेंगे, hearing करते रहेंगे, reading करते रहेंगे, then slowly our priorities will change, and then we will see that how we are able to make a full the decision with the full knowledge that we know this is our priority, we know this is going to solve the problem, we know this is the ultimate aim of the life. And then when the decision is we have to make कि आज चलो फर्स्ट जन्माष्टमी है तो छुट्टी लेके मंदिर में सेवा करे या माला करे, और I should go to work, then because of our knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam we would be able to make the right decision. ठीक है. So 2.4, Pankaj Prabhu and Sadish Prabhu, thank you so much. Here it is said, persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life. जो person who doesn't know, have a knowledge about the soul, जिसको आत्मा के बारे में ज्ञान नहीं है, they do not inquire into the problems of life. क्यों नहीं करते? Because they are too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body. Fallible soldiers means क्या है? Body, children, wife, they are the soldiers. उनके साथ attached है, but they are also fallible. They are not ultimately going to be there protected. Our body temporary hai family members, temporary hai children and wife. Our relationship is like temporary. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. Sukdev Goswami is mentioning to Parikshit Maharaj. Although sufficiently experienced, Prabhupada writes in the purport that from Brahma to the small germs, the great soul Brahma to the little insects or bugs or small germs, all are struggling for existence. And he is speaking from the first line. The first line says, person devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life. So Prabhupada writes that Brahma se small germs tak sab log struggling karte hai. We see in our life now, there are problems in life. There are struggles in life. We all know. People may be opening up in front of us or not. They might be putting fully smiling face in the Facebook profile or Instagram videos. They are enjoying the holidays and enjoying the life. ऐसा video डालेंगे, photo डालेंगे, life is best. But अगर थोड़ा भी नजदीक जाएंगे, they will have problems in their life. And 100% they will have so many problems. Not even one, not even little. बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हो गए उनकी पर्सनल लाइफ में. लेकिन some people admit it, some people try to cover it up, some people don't even realize they are illusioned, but everyone is having a problem in life. Keshav Swami Maharaj, once he was mentioning in his session that if there is a gallery, like an exhibition gallery hota hai, hall, and then everyone has to write their problems. सबको अपना अपना प्रॉब्लम एक बड़े से पेपर में लिखना है कि मेरा, सबको है ना, तन मन धन और संबंध, वी कॉल इट आइदर हेल्थ इश्यूज, माइंड इश्यूज, स्ट्रेस, एंजाइटी, वरीज, समथिंग. सो हेल्थ, तन मन, दैट इज माइंड इश्यूज. धन, फाइनेंशियल इश्यूज, जॉब चला गया या फाइनेंशियल बर्डन है. तन मन धन और संबंध, रिलेशनशिप इश्यूज, relationship with partner or extended family member or some relationship. Everyone is having this problem. Keshav Swami Maharaj was mentioning that if everyone writes their problems, sabko likhna hai, and we make a gallery where there is a big hall and everyone writes that paper, we frame it up and pura bada sa hall bhar denge problem se, and then we ask everyone to go one by one in the room and choose one problem you can choose out of this 100,000 problems people have written in the world. You choose one and then you can come out. The only condition is you have to choose and you can come out of that room. Maharaj was saying that everyone will go in the auditorium in that room and they will choose their own problem because everyone else's problem is too much, very high. सबके लाइफ में बहुत प्रॉब्लम है. हमें लगता है कि हमारी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम है, सबकी लाइफ में है. ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट, व्हेन यू रियलाइज अदर पीपल्स प्रॉब्लम, यू थिंक दुनिया में कितना गम है, मेरा गम कितना कम है. We will realize that Krishna has given us what we can, at least we are able to manage our bhakti in that. Otherwise, so many problems are in everyone's life. So the first line, it says, person devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life. Sabki life mein problems hai, but they do not inquire. Why they are not inquiring? Because they are too attached. Struggle चलता है, they think they will win this struggle by their own bodily strength. मैं करके दिखाऊंगा, मैं आगे आऊंगा, मेरे बॉडी में स्ट्रेंथ है, मेरे माइंड में स्किल्स है, इंटेलिजेंस है. और sometimes, depending on the family member, relatives, children, they think they will live forever, they will conquer it. And then Prabhupada writes, being too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body, children and wife, although sufficiently experienced. Although sufficiently experienced का मतलब क्या है? They have seen, अपने great grandfather, उनके so many people, they have lost the war. ये material world में comfortably जी नहीं सकते. You have to go one day. No one can live forever. There is always a struggle because people want to avoid the diseases, they want to live forever, but ये होना ही वाला नहीं है. Although sufficiently experienced from previous, they, what is the last line of the translation? They still do not see their inevitable destruction. कि भाई हम भी यहाँ से जाने वाले हैं, हम भी ये वॉर हारने वाले हैं, ये स्ट्रगल में हमारा कुछ नहीं होगा. टेम्पररी चाहे कितना भी लड़ ले, एट द एंड वी आर गोइंग टू गो. सो they do not see their inevitable destruction. Inevitable destruction मतलब उसको कोई avoid नहीं कर सकता. Inevitable destruction. So by sufficiently experiencing from the deceased predecessors जो पहले गए उससे, शिला प्रभुपाद says, जो पहले they are like a forming bubbles. प्रभुपाद writes in the material ocean, यही पर्पट में लिखते हैं, they are like bubbles. अपने जो relatives है, family है, friends है, all these people like a bubbles. थोड़े टाइम है और जाएंगे. मटीरियल ओशियन में जैसे बटर है, मटीरियल वर्ल्ड में ऐसा बबल्स है, आएंगे जाएंगे. दे आर ऑल टेम्पररी, वी आर ऑल्सो टेम्पररी. नॉट ओनली अस बट द सोल्जर्स whom we depend on. अपने बॉस पे कोई डिपेंड करता है, अपने कोई रिलेटिव पे डिपेंड करता है, वो सब भी फॉलिबल सोल्जर्स है, वो सब भी टेम्पररी है. सो दैट्स व्हाई it is said here that instead of depending on these temporary problems, a person should inquire into the real problems of life. And what are the real problems of life? Birth, death, old age and disease, which no one can avoid. जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि, वो कोई उसको सॉल्व नहीं कर सकता, और उसको सॉल्व कर दिया तो और कोई प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं है. And that's why person should focus on the knowledge of the soul. But people don't do it. As it is said here, they are attached to the body, children, wife, fallible soldiers. They say, we see the Gajendra story आता है ना भागवतम में, that Gajendra very strong personality going into that lake, and उसके सारे so many other elephants, she elephants and other friends elephants, kids elephant, they are all together. But when he goes into that lake, and he is in the water, crocodile catches the leg, no one can help. कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता. In the same way in our life also, when that the struggle, we are trying to struggle, we are trying to depend on so many things, but when the time will come, no one can save us. The destruction is inevitable. उस टाइम पे कोई हमको नहीं बचाएगा, सिर्फ भगवान बचाते हैं. And that is why, we have to depend on Lord. We have to take the shelter of this knowledge of the soul. That Yaksha Prashna is there, no? That Yudhishthir Maharaj and Yaksha discussion. Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti yamamalayam shesasthavara icchanti kim acharya atah param. Ahani ahani bhutanti gachanti yamamalayam. People, Yaksha is asking to Yudhishthir Maharaj, what is the most amazing thing in this world? सबसे आश्चर्यजनक चीज क्या है? युधिष्ठिर महाराज is responding, ahani ahani bhutani gachanti yamamalayam. Everyone is yamamalayam, everyone is rushing, everyone is going yamamalayam, they're going towards death. Ahani ahani bhutani, people see everyone is dying every day, no one lives forever, but शेष स्थावर इच्छन्ति. शेष, लेकिन जो बचे हैं, जो यहाँ पे लोग हैं, शेष स्थावर इच्छन्ति किम आश्चर्य मत परम. So surprising is that no one plans for that. सब लोग अपनी जिंदगी ऐसे प्लान करते हैं कि यहाँ पे हमेशा रहेंगे, लेकिन वो देखते हैं कि सब लोग टेम्पररी है इधर. बट not many people or hardly anyone plans like in that way that we are here temporary. Everyone is thinking we are here परमानेंट. हानि हानि भूतानि गच्छन्ति यममालयम. शेष स्थावर, जो इधर रहते हैं बाकी वाले, इच्छन्ति किम आश्चर्यतः परम. वो कितना सरप्राइजिंग है. Let's, with the interest of time, let's go 2.5. पूजा माता जी.
Yes. Hare Krishna, everybody. We are reading Canto 2, Chapter 1, Text 5. Preeti Mataji, if you've got the Bhagavatam, can I ask you to read after me? Here we go. तस्माद् भारत सर्वात्मा भगवान् ईश्वरो हरिः श्रोतव्यकीर्तव्यच्च स्मर्तव्यश्च छताभयम्. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Translation. O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the Super Soul, the controller, and the savior from miseries.
Thank you. So Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning here to Parikshit Maharaj that, oh descendant of Bharat, the dynasty, Bharat dynasty, Kuru dynasty, Pandu dynasty, like that we have. The dynasty, the lineage comes, and whenever some glorious king is, then the dynasty is known as that, Kuru dynasty, for example. They are coming in the lineage. So he's saying, oh descendant of King Bharat, the one who desires to be free from all these miseries. जो प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में बताया गया, वी आर हियर टेम्पररी, द स्ट्रगल्स आर देयर, द मटेरियल मिजरीज आर देयर, जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि इज देयर. सो ही इज मेंशनिंग हियर वन हु डिजायर्स टू बी फ्री फ्रॉम ऑल मिजरीज. उसको क्या करना चाहिए? मस्ट हियर अबाउट, ग्लोरीफाई, रिमेंबर, worship supreme personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller, and the savior from all miseries. So if you remember the question what Parikshit Maharaj asked, पहले था what one should not do. तो सुखदेव गोस्वामी ने जो परीक्षित महाराज का क्वेश्चन था उसका आंसर दिया कि वन शुड नॉट वेस्ट द लाइफ इन स्लीपिंग और सेक्स इंडल्जेंस और बीइंग टू मच अटैच्ड टू द फैमिली मेंबर्स और इकोनॉमिकल सिचुएशन. एंड देन उसके पहले का जो क्वेश्चन था, व्हाट वन शुड रिमेंबर, हियर, चैंट, रिमेंबर एंड वर्शिप. दैट वाज द क्वेश्चन बाय Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. What should one do? What is the duty of a common man? So here Parikshit Maharaj is asked, Sukadeva Goswami is answering the question of Parikshit Maharaj that लोगों को क्या नहीं करना चाहिए बता दिया, क्या करना चाहिए? They must hear, Shravanam, hear about, क्या करना चाहिए? Hear about Lord, Supreme Lord, glorification of the Supreme Lord, and remember the Supreme Personality of God. भगवान के बारे में सुनना चाहिए, कीर्तन करना चाहिए, श्रवणम करना चाहिए. So the questions which were asked by Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami here answering that. So Bhagavatam in one way, question पूछा, आंसर दिया, भागवतम खत्म हो गया. क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, जो क्वेश्चन थे सब कुछ फिनिश. In one way the Bhagavatam ends here. But we will see आगे कैसे बढ़ते हैं. Sukadeva Goswami continues further. So here foolish what is it mentioned here? Foolish materially attached person. They are sleeping, they are trying to solve economical problem, maintaining family members. Prabhupada is explaining that the misery, ये problem क्या है? The soul has to come again and again, take birth, and then the soul has to come again, take birth again, and the struggle continues. उससे बाहर निकलने के लिए one must hear. So if you see the translation, किसी को सुनना चाहिए, श्रवणम करना चाहिए, and then you can imagine what will Prabhupada write in the purport, importance of hearing. Prabhupada Shravanam के बारे में, how important is the hearing, Prabhupada explained that. He says all the success will come just by hearing. सिर्फ सुनते हैं लोग. Hearing is what we have to do, and hearing no hard work, just बैठना है, सुनना है, simple. But by hearing क्या होगा? The process Prabhupada explains in this purport very nicely. When someone hears, what happens? They get the knowledge and they can remember. जो सुना है, जैसे हम भी मूवी सॉन्ग कोई गाता है तो याद रह जाता है, and then they keep on repeating that. In the same way here, what is happening? When someone is hearing, they will get the knowledge of the Supreme Lord and they will be remembering Supreme Lord. And Bhagwan Krishna is not different than his name. So when someone is remembering and reciting his name, the person is having association with Krishna. Because Lord is not different than his name, his glories, his pastime, his activities. So by hearing, one will get knowledge. By knowledge, one will be able to remember. By remembering and having a knowledge all the time, a person will be having association of the Lord. And when a person thinks, remember and having an association of the Lord, he's associating with the spiritual energy, and then he comes in contact with spiritual energy. The soul becomes spiritual, and in that mood, when a person leaves the body, he attains Supreme Lord. He attains the spiritual destination, because the whole mood, the whole remembrance, the whole knowledge, mind, everything is occupied in that. And that's why Prabhupada is explaining pura scientific process ki how just by hearing one can reach. When we hear and reflect, our life becomes perfect. It's very important. Hearing सिर्फ करना है हमें, बाकी nothing. 2.6 Nirvin Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranams. Hare Krishna dear devotees, Danvat Pranams. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. एतावान् साङ्ख्ययोगाभ्यां स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठया जन्मलाभः परो पुंसाम् अन्ते नारायण स्मृतिः. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. The highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So as I mentioned before, previous verse, जो Parikshit Maharaj के question थे, they were answered. What one should chant, what one should remember, what one should do, devotional service, glorification of the Lord, and what one should not do. They are all answered. So in one way, the Bhagavatam is complete here. Answer मिल गया, finish हो गया. But the sages who were assembled there, where Parikshit Maharaj is sitting on the bank of the river Ganges near to Hastinapur somewhere, and when he decided to fast till date, all the sages came from all around the universe. And at that time, not everyone is on the same platform. Not everyone agrees with that the Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. Sabka level different hai. There are some Jnanis, there are some yogis, there are different kind of personalities. So, the path of Krishna is all inclusive. एक पर्टिकुलर टाइप के लोगों के लिए नहीं है, ये सबके लिए है. The instructions of Vedas mentioned in scriptures is for all different levels and for everyone. And here, what Parikshit Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning now in 2.6 is the highest perfection of the life, जो ultimate है, which is to remember personality of Godhead at the end of the life. Translation में लिखा है, which is can be achieved by either complete Sankhya Yoga, complete knowledge of matter and spirit, Sankhya Yoga, or by practice of mystic powers. योगिक पद्धति से भी कर सकते हैं, सांख्य योगा का भी कर सकते हैं, different और कर्म योगा से भी कर सकते हैं, by discharge of the occupational duty. There are different ways. बाकी सबको लेफ्ट आउट ना हो जाए, इसलिए सुखदेव गोस्वामी is continuing that there are, yes, many different other paths as well, but the ultimate is we have to remember ante narayana smriti anta kale chana smarana muktva kalemara. At the end, one has to remember. So to make it relevant for all the people who have assembled here, he starts again that Sankhya Yoga hai, Karma Yoga hai, Jnana Yoga hai, Ashtanga Yoga hai. Ashtanga Yoga is very detailedly mentioned here. We will see in coming verses. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, जो 8 अंश है, वो सब डिटेल में बताया गया है. Why? To make it relevant for all of them. We see even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna takes this approach as well. आप देखना, even at the beginning of beginning of Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna is asking the question, how Krishna responds, भगवान क्या बोलते हैं अर्जुन को कि if you fight and if you win, you will be the king of this world, you will enjoy. And if you lose, then you will go to, because as a soldier you are fighting in the battlefield and you are losing the war, you will still go to the heavenly planets. Because अगर कोई योद्धा युद्ध में लड़ते लड़ते मरता है तो वो स्वर्ग में जाता है, and there are heavenly enjoyment there. So even Krishna is telling to Arjun that you enjoy either here or there. Either you fight and win, you will enjoy, or you fight and lose, you will still enjoy in the heavenly planet. So Krishna is telling Arjuna about the enjoyment, but that is not the ultimate message of Bhagavad Gita कि इधर या तो इधर enjoy करो या स्वर्ग में enjoy करो, you are going to have an enjoyment. Krishna wants to tell to Arjuna क्या है, मन मना भव मद भक्तो मद्या जीवाम नमस्कुरु, you always worship me, offer your obeisances to me, and मनुस्मर युद्ध, फाइटिंग करो तो भी मेरी सेवा की भावना से करो, think of me and fight. So that is the ultimate message. But Krishna, somewhere he puts all this to make it relevant for others and to highlight the importance of Bhakti Yoga. I'll give you an example. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? Sorry, let me know if it's complicated. I'm trying to explain what the theme is happening here, क्योंकि भागवतम तो खत्म हो गया previous verse में, but why it continues, that is very important to understand. I have a business of gemstone. अभी मेरी दुकान पे कोई जैसे डायमंड है फॉर एग्जांपल देखने आता है, तो what I tell to my staff, give me that black velvet cloth. You give me that black or dark green or maroon color velvet cloth. और फिर उसके ऊपर डायमंड रखते हैं, उसके ऊपर जेमस्टोन्स रखते हैं। क्यों रखते हैं? द पर्सन इज हियर टू सी डायमंड, बट व्हाई आई टेल टू गेट द ब्लैक ट्रैप। ज्वेलरी देखने जाओगे तो भी वो ट्रे में होगा। यू सी व्हाई देयर इज अ ब्लैक वेलवेट क्लॉथ व्हेन ए पर्सन इज आस्किंग डायमंड। अरे भाई मुझे डायमंड दिखाओ। बट व्हेन यू हैव दैट कॉन्ट्रास्ट, अगर आप ब्लैक वेलवेट क्लॉथ रखोगे तो डायमंड का जो इंपॉर्टेंस है, शाइन है, सिग्निफिकेंस है, वो बहुत चमकेगा। यू आर एबल टू सी द डायमंड्स नाइसली बिकॉज देयर इज अ ब्लैक वेलवेट क्लॉथ अंडरनीथ। इन द सेम वे भागवतम और भगवत गीता में अष्टांग योगा, कर्म योगा, ज्ञान योगा, वो कॉन्ट्रास्ट इसीलिए बताया गया है ताकि भक्ति योगा चमके। इट्स लाइक अ डायमंड, it is highest, it is topmost, and to highlight the benefit of bhakti yoga, the greatness of bhakti yoga, the contrast of uh, this Ashtanga yoga and all this Sankhya yoga and all this we will see. They are all mentioned. And abhi dekhna aage jaake wo sab aayega. So have this clear. To create the contrast, even Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, to create that contrast and give importance and make Bhakti Yoga as the topmost, he has to explain others. And in the same way in Bhagavatam also, to highlight the topmost benefits of Bhakti, all this Ashtanga Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, this mystic yogic powers that is mentioned. And this is what it is said here. Now if you read text number 6 translation, it will make sense. Yes, the highest perfect of human life is to remember Krishna, but it can be achieved by other complete knowledge of matter and spirit. Sankhya yoga से mystic power से discharge of occupational duties से अलग-अलग से हो सकता है, but that is the ultimate aim. ठीक है, I think we'll finish here 2.6. मुझे 7 भी करना था लेकिन नहीं कर पाएंगे. Okay, I will stop here. Any additions, comments? 4, 5, 6. Only 3 we did, right? If you don't have questions, I can finish 2.7 in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because it's continuation.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to add कि अभी तो शुकदेव गोस्वामी बता रहे हैं, पर फर्स्ट कैंटो में सूता गोस्वामी ने सेम चीज बताया था ना सेकंड चैप्टर में, द डिवोशनल सर्विस वाला जो सेकंड चैप्टर था 1.2. सो उसके अंदर एग्जैक्टली सेम नॉलेज उन्होंने बताया था. उन्होंने कहा था कि जो स्वधर्म से हम अपना काम कर रहे हैं, इफ यू आर नॉट रिमेम्बरिंग द लॉर्ड देन इट इज श्रम एव ही केवलम.
Correct.
और and yeah, so the two realized persons are giving their verdict. Suta Goswami ने वो अपने वर्ड्स में बताया था. Now he is quoting verbatim what he has heard. So very same verses in the essence.
Correct. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. Na utpade yadi ratim shramev hi kevalam. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Chalo. Anyone else? No. Okay. Very good. I hope you are getting. I'm trying to explain. थोड़ा complicated है, but I'm trying to give some analogy and explain. मुझे तो अच्छा लगता है. जैसे कोई छोटे बच्चे होते हैं ना, वो खेलने जाते हैं तो how happy they come in the association of other. 5 साल का बच्चा है, दूसरे फ्रेंड्स को मिलके प्ले ग्राउंड में जाएगा, खेलने को मिलेगा, कितना अच्छा लगता है. मुझे वो टाइप का फीलिंग आ रहा है जब हम सुबह भागवतम पढ़ते हैं तो इतना मजा आ गया. चलो सब साथ में बैठते हैं, पढ़ते हैं भागवतम. So fun. And that's what I feel like, a 5-year-old boy going into the playground with all other friends and maza aa gaya khelne ka. That's what I am having feeling of this Bhagavatam. It's so good. So बहुत बहुत मस्त है Bhagavatam. is मजा आता है. जो knowledge है अंदर सीखने को मिलता है, the practical applications and कितना deep philosophy है. ये सब it is very different than all this so-called religious principles, मंदिर जाओ, घंटा बजाओ, हाथ जोड़ो, नारियल तोड़ो, कोई मन्नतें मांगो भगवान से और फिर वापस आओ. That is something completely different from this what is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Someone raised hand. Aruna Mataji.
Yes. प्रभु जी मैं नहीं उठाया प्रभु. आई जस्ट अब ऐसे बोल रहे हैं ना, और ये वर्ष में कोई और भी वो याद आया जो श्रीला प्रभुपाद ऑलवेज ही कोट्स कि स्मर्तव्यम सततम विष्णु विस्मर्तव्यम न जातु चित सर्वे विधि निषेधास्यु एतयोरेव किंकरा, व्हिच मींस कि इन द फर्स्ट रूल इज ऑलवेज रिमेंबर लॉर्ड, and the second rule is never forget the first rule, and all the other rules and regulations are servants of this rule. तो
Kinkara, servant, yes.
हाँ, servants of this rule. So सो अभी इसमें भी यही बता रहे कि अल्टीमेटली आप कर्मयोग कर रहे हो, कुछ भी कर रहे हो, एंड रिजल्ट शुड बी अंते नारायण स्मृति। अगर वो नहीं अचीव हुआ तो फेल हो गया सब कुछ आपका। और अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हो और वहां पे अंते नारायण स्मृति हो गया तो आप पास हो गए। सो दैट इज द फाइनल वर्डिक्ट कि भगवान को याद करना है। और अंते तो तभी होगा जब पूरे लाइफ में करने की प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं होगा।
करेक्ट, 100% नहीं होगा, पूरी लाइफ करेंगे तभी होगा। एनीवे, वी आर मीटिंग, आई डिडंट थिंक आई अनाउंस इट, अरे भूल ही गया। देखो, नारायण स्मृति, अंत्य स्मृति याद आ रहा है मुझे भी कि 19th of April, which is Sunday, we are having our Naimisharanya Yatra in person Bhagavatam gathering, where we will all come together, we will all recap the full first canto starting from beginning to end, tak pura flow of Bhagavatam, katha, glorification of the Lord, pastimes, activities, as well as learning points, practical application from Prabhupada purports. Pura hum 19th of April Sunday, परीक्षित महाराज के पास तो 7 दिन थे, हमारे पास 7 घंटे, 10 to 5. But we might start, with the kirtan, little bit of meet and greet, prasadam hoga in the lunch time, little snacks. By 4, between 4 and 5, we will be able to wind up everything. So please mark this day in your diary for our नैमिषारण्य यात्रा. I call it a day trip to नैमिषारण्य. एक दिन हम जाएंगे सब लोग नैमिषारण्य में बैठते हैं and we full dive deeper into the Bhagavatam. A day trip to नैमिषारण्य, 19th of April. Please, those who are online recording listeners, they are also welcome. Location, I am still thinking. I am open for all the options and opportunities. If anyone has suggestions.
Location also fixed, Prabhuji, in Glen Waverly.
Oh, location fixed. Oh, bapre. Very good. All right. So I will make announcements, and after Ram Navami, we will start the RSVP as well, so that we know exact numbers. And so please mark your day. Okay. Thank you, dear devotees. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Padma
everyone.
Mataji, you are welcome to come and join our Naimisharanya Yatra. All the
One
Bendigo
of these
devotees.
days, maybe the 12th, when you finish the 12th canto.
Oh no.
That's like we're talking few years, Mataji.
Other way around. If
we start with 12th canto.